Big Ben Roethlisberger officially retired after 18 seasons, two Super Bowl wins, and 0 losing seasons in the National Football League with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The ultimate question that everybody wants to know, and I don't even know if I can answer you here, where in the hell do you rank Big Ben on your all-time quarterback list?
I mean, he's definitely outside of the top 10. If I really had to look at where I was putting him, he's probably outside of my top 20. And he's one of the only quarterbacks. I mean, there aren't 10 quarterbacks that have 2 Super Bowl wins. But he's still not ranked that high. And why I don't rank him there? His first Super Bowl, he was carried by the defense. The second one, Big Ben was balling. But Big Ben is a great quarterback. I'm not going to slight him.
Right.
Before Russell Wilson, I would have told you that Big Ben threw the best deep balls that I've ever seen.
Right.
But Russ came along, and I was like, nope, this guy has you.
Right.
He can actually scramble and throw that same pass on the run.
Right.
So it's different. But before that, Big Ben had that title.
Right.
Ben had the Steelers in the mix every year for his whole career. I mean, that's a big part of the reason why they didn't have any losing seasons.
Right.
But I can't give Big Ben more than, I mean, if I have to give him a number ranking,
top 25?
Yeah, I say he falls somewhere in my top 30.
Yeah. Definitely hard to put a number on him. But
back there.
Right. Ben's career is definitely interesting because, like, we know Ben had the Steelers in the mix in a lot of years, but it feels like once you kind of got around to the last potentially 4 to 5 seasons, you just saw that significant decline with Ben over time. You know, the size wasn't really an advantage anymore. The arm kind of dwindled. You know, I mean, looking at Big Ben now, like in his last few games, his arm was so piss poor. If people are watching him today, and you could say the same thing about some of these older quarterbacks that we've seen, you know, kind of drag on and have their career fall off, you would have never guessed that he would have been at the top of his game at any point in his career. And again, I get it, but he looked a lot older than some of these Brees, some of these Rodgers, some of these, you know, Mannings, some of these Bradys that have been out here kind of crushing it after the age of 36 or 37. And again, it is a very hard feat for sure. I would potentially put Ben about top 20, top 25. Like you mentioned, he is obviously one of the best deep ball throwers we've seen until we saw Russell Wilson come along. The size is great. There are only a handful of quarterbacks that have been to multiple Super Bowls, let alone 3, 1, 2, 0 losing seasons. Yes, there was a major defensive culture with Big Ben in that time. It is hard to put a specific number on him because I can't put him above Brady, Brees, Rodgers, you know, Manning, all of these legends, Favre that we've seen within the past years. And that's why it might slight him a little bit. You know, people have said with Brees, oh, well, he never won an MVP because of who he played around. Yes, I understand that, but it's still the situation he was in, and that's where Ben is going to fall on the list. Is he a first ballot Hall of Famer for you, though, Fees?
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, his career numbers said he should be. He's 5th all-time in passing yards, 8th in touchdowns, 16th in passer rating. But Big Ben has 2 sexual assault charges, both of them rape charges that he somehow got away with. Never any fallout with the NFL or even publicly. We know about it, but it was just washed under the table. I mean, for the way guys have been crucified at getting into the Hall of Fame for far lesser stuff, Terrell Owens had to wait till his 3rd go-round to get into the Hall of Fame.
Absolute BS.
And he did nothing. He just had people talking about, oh, he was a team obliterator. He got into it with some guys while he played.
Right.
This dude had rape allegations on more than one occasion.
Yeah.
And he's not crucified for it.
Right.
We're sitting looking at Ray Rice.
Deshaun Watson.
He can't get back in the league. Deshaun Watson can't play.
Right.
Like they have serious allegations, and we're acting like the stuff that happened with Ben didn't happen.
Yeah.
He shouldn't go first ballot. He shouldn't even get in.
No Hall of Fame for Ben.
If Terrell Owens had to wait 3 years to get in for nothing, Big Ben should not get in at all. And if he does, no way in hell he should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. he should have to wait and wait and wait and wait. It should be forever. And especially the fact that he retired at the same year as Tom Brady, and Rob Gronkowski is probably going to retire probably in the coming week. He should have to wait forever, exponentially, to get in. And you can then turn around and act like you want to say that it's because he retired the same time as Tom Brady. But we'll all know that it's actually because he's a two-time alleged rapist that was never penalized by the NFL, and he should be as far as the Hall of Fame rankings are considered. You shit on Barry Bonds. You shit on Roger Clemens. Big Ben needs to get the same treatment.
Yeah.
Shouldn't get in.
I totally understand where you're coming from there. Tosh said, in a room of great quarterbacks, Ben would be the valet. Yeah, definitely throwing some shade there. Taj, again, Ben is not a top of anything. Ben is a Hall of Flaker. Jamila says, I'm happy he retired. He should have did that 4 to 5 years ago. People asking us to skip the Big Ben news. We understand what Ben's been. I don't think he's a first ballot either. I would say he would have to be second ballot for me, because we can't deny the height that he was in his career at one point. At one point, Big Ben was a top 7, top 10 quarterback in the league. He did have the best deep ball. He did, he was supported by a great defense, by a great coach. He did have an Antonio Brown, he did have a Hines Ward. He did have some of these players out here. He did have a Le'Veon Bell. Like, he had a lot of key players around him in which he did deliver in the prime time of his years. We can't deny that he's been to multiple Super Bowls and won 2. We can't deny that he never lost an NFL season. But again, when you're overshadowed by a Brady, a Breeze, a Rodgers, a Manning, a Favre, like, that is going to, unfortunately, like I just mentioned with Breeze, that is going to overshadow some of the potential respect that you should get there. Before we hit the break, tell me, Fees, who should the Steelers pursue to replace Roethlisberger?
Jimmy G. Since the San Francisco 49ers are trying to get rid of him.
Damn, I can't disagree.
They have a whole host of wide receivers.
Yeah.
They have a very good defense.
Yeah.
They should, if they go for Jimmy G, that'll absolutely get them in the playoffs, and they will be in position to actually be legitimate.
Wow. Jimmy G to the Steelers. I can't disagree there. In general, though, I feel like the Steelers are a young team at this point. I know Mike Tomlin is obviously seasoned, but you got TJ Watt, you've got Claypool, you've got some receivers out there, obviously Juju Smith-Schuster, some young defensive guys on the team as well. I would just say overall a young quarterback that this team could actually buy into. I wouldn't say it would be necessarily a rebuild for Pittsburgh, but potentially a reboot, kind of like we talked about with USC with I was about to say, why can I not place his name right now? I almost said Lane Kiffin, but I knew that was not the answer. But definitely a young quarterback, someone that could kind of go in and potentially get that locker room to buy in on him. And it's not that the locker room wasn't bought in on Ben, but everybody knew it was time to go. So I could kind of double it with you there, Jimmy G. That would just feel like a prime catch right now, especially considering what Jimmy has done for San Francisco. 30-plus wins in his career, 1 postseason loss. Either Jimmy or a young quarterback, I definitely have to say. Get someone in there that kind of matches the mentality, really just the overall, impression that the Steelers are putting on the league right now.